So, good morning once again, and my is now. Can you hear me, all of
Morning.
uh,
You are currently the only person in this conference.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, you are audible.
Poleni. I think the network had so many issues, but now I think it's settled. Thank you for that patience. So now I can go direct to topic 1 now. So can you see topic 1 on your screen?
Pardon?
I'm trying to share. Can you see the topic on your screen?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. Again, connectivity issues. Oops. Well, I really don't know now. Let me try. I'm trying to share again. My sincere apologies. I'm trying again the connectivity issues again, but let me see now if it will work. So I think if it doesn't share, just proceed now. Now that you have the notes, I can just take it from my end. If it doesn't share, that we save on time. So let's just proceed without the shared notes because I believe we have them on the other end. Are we together?
Yes.
So yes, so since there are problem with sharing the notes, I don't know that the connectivity is bringing issues. I'll just proceed since you guys have the notes and I have my own notes. Then maybe we shall share the next class if activity should be done. I'll go the concept, gender and development, And from that first end, we'll be defining what is gender and what is sex, because most of the time people confuse these two terminologies. People refer to gender when they're talking about sex, and people refer to sex when they're talking about gender. But there is that key distinction between the two terminologies. Gender, it's all about the roles that we are given in the society in terms of men and in terms of women. The roles for women and the roles for men. That is gender. But sex, this is more biologically constructed characteristics, meaning sex is something permanent. If you are born a girl, you are a girl. If you are born a boy, you're a boy. Due to the physical anatomy, some of the things that we can see, and some, some which we cannot see, but you can definitely conclude these are a lady, these are a gentleman. So for gender, they are the roles that are given in the society, meaning they change over time. They are not permanent as we are with sex, because in sex we are arguing that it's a fixed or permanent, it's not changeable. It's an identifiable physical feature which are fixed. That is it's on the definition of sex. But for gender, they can change. Maybe some of the roles that were done earlier by men are currently being done by women. Now that we have the element of women empowerment, we've seen that currently the saying that what men can do, a woman can do better. So what does that tell us? Currently, anyone can enroll for anything. So that is now men with the anatomy, the physical anatomy and all that. So again, I'm lost. Connectivity, I believe now it's back. Kyoko, can you not hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I think it's the connectivity, but we shall proceed. So I was talking about the gender roles, and I said gender are socially related roles, and they change from one time to the other, generation to the other, because they are socially given. But for sex, we say they are the coffee, so them are not changeable, they are fixed, they are permanent. So when someone is talking about sex and they were maybe referring to gender, that can bring miscommunication. Someone may understand something different. So you need to have that key distinction between gender and sex. For gender, it's socially constructed, but for sex, it's physical. It's biological, it's biologically constructed. And for sex, we're saying it's permanent, it's fixed, it's not changing. Gender roles, even in the culture, we know we come from different cultures. I know that is very clear, meaning our beliefs are different. So if our beliefs are different, there are those cultures believe a woman can be the head of the family. That is their have any issue with that. But to another family, they believe that no. So a big cult issues, because we have different, even to some extent, religious beliefs, usually different. Even you've seen that we do things in different perspectives. So all these attracts some element of flexibility. So for gender roles, they are more flexible, as I just said. They're permanent, they're temporal, and they're flexible. So they can change with culture, they can change with generation, they can change with everything that are happening, the emerging trends in the society. Gender roles can change. Maybe if you can ask your grandparents, the men could not babysit their children, but currently you've seen it happening, and maybe it's not a big changing, with the trending things. So with gender roles, they can change, but for us, it's our physical. Unless someone has a question on the two distinct words. From there, we shall go to gender equity and gender inequality. These are the two very confusing words, but they always move together. So equity, it's all about fairness and justice. in the distribution of benefits and responsibilities to a given group of people. So if maybe like now currently we are having the donations to give to those who are being affected or the rural settings by the COVID-19. If you go to a community and you realize that we are not fairly distributing the donations we are getting, that is not equity. That is inequality because some people are getting more than the others. So for us to have equity, we need to have the fairness and justice in distribution of benefits for both gender. Remember, you are doing gender and development. So if donations, let's not consider only men and forget the women. We need to distribute both gender. We've heard about gender-based violence currently now, the corona issue, and people are running to maybe they are really suffering, but we cannot know. So for that element, we are not doing equity because people are only giving the psychosocial counseling to only women, but they're forgetting that even men can face the gender-based violence. So when you're talking about equity, it's the fairness and the justice in everything that you're doing to the group of people, considering both men and women. So gender equity assures an equal enjoyment of socially valued goods, opportunities, resources, and rewards by men and women. So you're talking about equally enjoyment of socially good or socially valued goods and opportunities. This connects to job opportunities. We need of job opportunity. We should not, men than equal distribution of resources and so and please discriminate that is this or women are given more chances than men. So that is inequality because there is no equal distribution. So for us to encourage distribution, we need to practice the what we just mentioned as equality. Equality. So if we have gender inequality, now it becomes like distribution in the system. So you find that some people are not favored like the others. So we need to take away the element of discriminating any person in the gender sector because we are all equal. Structural gender inequality is more entrenched if it is maintained by administrative rules and roles rather than by only customs and traditions. From there, I'll go to gender discrimination. Let me see if now things are okay. I hope we are together up to that far. I want to
Yes.
see if let me see if I can share this. And there, okay. Victor, there's an error in sharing. So I want to go to gender discrimination. What is to discriminate? Who can give us maybe a definition? What do you mean by discriminating? Because I know it's a terminology that we use each and every day. Discrimination is to do what? What is discrimination?
I think to discriminate is to stop someone from accessing something
Everyone
based on conditions.
means or please discriminate. And see again connectivity issues. So I can see when you cannot hear me. Let me see if it gets back. Apologies again for that. Who was that? Kindly you can repeat. Discriminating. We mean someone was mentioning something before we lost the connectivity. Please see if you can hear me. Yes, Waruga.
I was trying to discriminate is to stop someone from accessing a commodity based on a condition.
Something assessing someone based on the condition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good, yes. So to some extent, you find that in the society where we have the three levels of people, we have the rich, the middle class, and the lower level people, the poor, the humbled. You find that when sometimes we have resources in the society, people discriminate those people in the poor, the poor levels, the humble, the lower levels. To them, they view that they do not have a voice, they are voiceless. So people may really assume they do not have any chance even to communicate. So you find that it's a meeting, the rich are there, the middle class are there, the poor are there. So you find that the rich are given more chance to talk than the poor. Does it mean that the poor are not able to talk? They are able to talk. Even maybe they have more viable points than the rich. But people just, outlook them, they see like they may not help. That is gender discrimination. Or for some, it's a community meeting and we have 5 women and we have 20 men. First of all, that meeting is not fair. You cannot have like 20 men and 5 women. Honestly, you're trying to say like women cannot give decisions, cannot make policies in the community. So you need to check on balance. If you're calling for a meeting, try to balance, call for 10 women and maybe 10 men or 12 men. So that will give even room for women, even them to participate. So from that extent, now you can give the element of women to talk in that meeting. Don't think that they are not participating. Let them even contribute, give their views, give their ideas. Don't do decision making for only men. Don't do policy making or policy formulation or policy implementation only for men. Make sure even the women have their say in terms of policy formulation, implementation, and all that. So it is very important if you combine the two. So gender discrimination, let me revisit my notes now that there are issues with sharing. So gender discrimination is a state of giving differential treatment to individuals on the basis of their gender. In many instances, encompasses systematic and structural discrimination against women or men in the distribution of income, distribution of resources, and participation in decision making. So you realize that in terms of income, men are earning like 100,000, and the same position, a lady is earning like 50,000. That is not fair. And maybe they are doing the same tasks. Distribution of resources, there may be, food donations, financial resources. You find that something is not fair. Then the last one is the participation in decision making, as I've just mentioned. Even the women can be given a chance in making of decisions. So we need to avoid gender discrimination. Let's treat everyone, equal, but not favor one party. Then the other terminology is check gender sensitivity. We need to be very sensitive when we are discussing issues. And even before we read from the notes, I need to give this example. If you are you're doing a research on gender-based violence, and for this matter, you're concentrating on rape cases, and you plan to concentrate more on women than men, and now you want to ask women questions. You need to be gender sensitive. Do not just ask questions so rudely. At how many times have you ever been raped? You mean you are not cautious? It's like it's their fault. You need to be very sensitive because some of the things like rape cases, abortion, physical torture by their partners, that can attract a lot. And when you're doing such a report, you need to check on the wellness of the client. So you need to be very gender sensitive. Don't just go to a market and shout that women are always beaten. That one is not sexual killings. Check their needs and their interests as people. The same can happen to men because I understand currently, gender-based violence is occurring to both men and women. So the same way, if you are doing a research and you're asking men questions, you should not just go directly and tell them, I've heard that nowadays you're being butchered. Don't be rude. Be sensitive on what you're saying. So gender sensitivity is very key because you may hurt someone when you don't know. You're just talking about you think they're understanding, but already you've lost them. And if you want to work well with people, please be cautious. Consider them, show them that we are here to benefit them, but not to harm them. So be very sensitive on what you are doing. So from gender sensitivity refers to the ability to recognize the gender issues. Number one, you need to know the gender issues. Two, perception. How do people perceive things? There are places where you will go and realize that gender-based violence to them is an issue of it. As the only it's like culture shock to them talking about. We don't know about this. So please check on the perception of to recognize gender perception needs and interests. I believe now you can hear me, Bernard. Bernadette, sorry.
Yes.
Bernadette. Oh, okay. So we were on awareness, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. So in Kenya, have we created enough awareness in relation to COVID-19? This
No.
question goes to the entire class now. Waruga, you can unmute that we discuss this first. No. For Kyoko, you say no.
Yes.
Waruga, do you think we've done enough awareness in relation to COVID-19?
I think we have the problem is that people are assuming it.
People are?
Assuming or making theories that the government is trying to do something with this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for Barari, you said no. So we really need much to do a lot of creativity. There are people up to today, they do not know how to wear the face mask. And they are in this Kenya. To them, they're just hearing over the radio or maybe viewing the television, but they do not know much about the face mask. Some they've heard of sanitizer, they've never even seen it. Though at least we're being encouraged about the hand washing. So we really need to create a lot of awareness. Now, the same way we are creating awareness on the pandemic, now let's bring this mentality to gender and development. We need to create awareness to community members in relation to gender and development. We need to make the members know we are not only developing men or we are not only developing women. If it's empowerment, should go to both men empowerment and women empowerment, because we need to create awareness to these people. They all need to know all the sectors holistically. If it's economic, if it is religious, if it is political, we need to we need to discourage discrimination and stigmatization in terms of women venturing into politics. Anyone can venture into politics. Anyone can vie for any seat, including presidential, governor, any seat. So when you're talking about gender awareness, we are creating awareness to the members about everything, socially, cultural, technological, religious, economic, political, anything that can be done, any awareness that we can create, even health-wise. People always talk about men rarely go to hospital. We all think that it's all the time women and the children. One day, you need to take that initiative and create awareness to men. Let them know if you have severe headache, you need to go to the hospital for checkup. Most of them men, maybe they believe severe headache is because maybe I didn't take water, so they just take a glass of water and assume. So if you're creating awareness on health issues, please do not concentrate only on on women and the children and forget men. Anyone can be informed in terms of health issues, even in terms of security, even in terms of environment, in terms of agriculture. Anyone can be informed. So creating awareness should be gender sensitive. So make sure both men and women are aware of what is happening, what they can do to have empowerment and development in their community. Then from there, I will go to gender stereotyping. Now, this is very interesting. That's our last bit there. Gender stereotyping. Anyone who has an idea what is stereotyping? Yes, Bernadette. Sorry, Bernadette. Stereotyping, it's what? Or what do you understand by that terminology?
I might say stereotyping. Like I might give an example.
Yes.
Like people saying vegans are people who are vegans, they don't grow fat or something. Just like an example of how I understand stereotyping, because somehow they believe the
How
perception
they
of
believe. Yeah, that is very true. That's very true. Good. Like if you see, what do people say about Kikuyu in Kenya?
wanapenda
If you drop a
pesa.
coin, yeah, they assume if you drop a coin, definitely they'll just stand and check if it's a coin or it was, they'll just check. That's stereotyping. Is it true, honestly?
No.
Everyone it's in need of cash, so that is just stereotyping. Or if you see me tomorrow on our class and I'm on a video, you can now see me and I'm on a yellow everything, top earrings. What will you say?
Kamba.
Everything is yellow. Yeah, now you see that is stereotyping, because honestly it's not that all Kambas do yellow. Other people, even them, they wear yellow, you see. So the
Yeah.
issue of money, if you see a Jaluo, you say what? Waruga Moses, what is believed in terms of Luo? Yes, Moses.
Pardon? Pardon?
Stereotyping. When people see the Luo people, what do they believe in? Wanasema Wajaluo wako na
Anything.
nini? Sorry?
Kufloat ama
They will just say they have parked their Mercedes Benz.
yeah. They just
Yeah, you
pass their
see,
bench.
so it is not the real thing. Eh? Just people are stereotyping them with pride and all that. It may not be the real thing. So gender stereotyping is very harmful. It may distract a lot of things in the community. It may deter us from doing community development and empowerment because you're just stereotyping. So you can imagine you are a social worker, you are a community developer, and you are going to central province, the Meru, Nyeri, and all those sites. So you are like, when I go to that place, I need to keep my cash well because that region, they love money. Now that is stereotyping. So meaning even it will deter you from delivering what you're supposed to deliver because you already have that in mind. The region I'm going to do my research, it's more people love money. That is just stereotyping and it's not encouraged. So we need to be very sensitive in terms of stereotyping. Please don't stereotype and say that women are gossiping. No, that is gender stereotyping. Men are always quiet. Men are good in only decision making, So you will find that when you're making decisions with the community, you only ask men to contribute because according to you, you believe that men are more active than women in terms of decision making. Typing, concluding something from nowhere. So that should not be when you please that's research. Always do collect themselves things are check gender awareness. So gender stereotyping, it relates commonly to generalizing about women, which is not based on facts. That is just a generalized Kenya is when your country count maybe the case. Need to understand not stereotype men are this way or women are this way, because with that you may not work well as a community developer or a social worker. And remember, with our core goal, it's fairness. We need to be fair to everyone. So if I'm doing community empowerment, I should not concentrate more on women and say men are already empowered. Honestly, in Kenya, there are men who are not empowered, and they need us as developers to help them empower. So if you're doing a project in business, income generating activities, and you want to start up business for people in the community, don't concentrate on giving all the business, the capital to women. Their own capital and begin a business. Honestly, that is not their history, not where they come from. I think, but I'll be yes. Oh, I'm back. Thank you. So make sure you know them well in terms of their history, their background, their regions, what are the activities, how many people are employed there, so that you may not have the element of stereotyping. Stereotyping may not really help. Just be gender sensitive, create awareness equal to all people, as we've just mentioned about gender equity, being fair to everyone, regardless of the gender. So let me see from there on chapter 1, we have something very interesting. That's what I'm going to finish up with. That is the triple role concept. So triple role concept in gender, it's a subtopic again in topic 1. And we have 3 roles in a community setup in terms of the role. We have, let me check on the notes. The first role is reproductive work. The second role is productive work. And the third role is community management work. So when you hear the term triple, what comes in your mind? Triple means what? Who is
3.
online to tell me? 3, yeah, thank you. So when you hear the triple role concept in gender, I'm going to give the 3 roles in terms of gender, which are basically in the community setup. So people believe on the three roles very much: the reproductive work, the productive work, and community management work. If we begin from the first role, reproductive work. Now, this one will be more of discussion. So can you unmute for a while? Those who maybe were, unless they're in a noisy place like Waruga, but it's okay. So for reproductive work, who is more believed to be active between men and women? Ojong Amondi, welcome. I see sometimes we were offline, but you're back now. So welcome. So in a community setup, who is given the role of reproductive? Who are believed to reproduce? Woman. So can they reproduce alone?
No.
So the role is for both. But you see, people stereotype who? Women, eh?
The woman.
Yeah, so to them, they believe it's more women. So to them, they know it's the role of the man to be, the woman to remain at home, take care of kids, feed them, do everything at home. So let me check. So the reproductive work, it's more taken to the women, as it talks about family bearing and raising of children, caring for other family members, and household chores. So you find that all the activities in the house, the domestic work, it's left for women. So from a community setup, the first triple role is reproductive work, and people in the community believe it's for women, because it's all about bearing of children, the raising of the children, other family members, household chores. So you find that every lady is left to do all the activities in the house, the domestic activities in the house. So it is, in most cultures, these roles are typically regarded as women role. And I think that is very practical in most of the societies. They believe that, babysitting is not for men, though currently it's happening to everyone. Then the other role, it's productive role. So for productive role, it's more taken to be for women, but now on industrialization. People now believe that men are supposed to move from home. They go to the market centers, open a business, go to urban settings, get a job via the industries, the companies, corporate, public sector. So in a community setup, they believe that men are more in the productive role, but women are in the reproductive role. So this element is good, but it brings some conflict in that people now believe that men are the one to go to work and men to go to work and women to remain at home. So in that element, we are not promoting women empowerment, because all through we believe that women should remain at home. So you find that any job that comes, it's given only to men, because people believe that men are the one to move out. But with the recent life we are in, we really need to encourage women empowerment. Women, they need to be employed just like men are. So you find that productive role, it's more on industrialization, farming, men going to look for something to bring at home. So you find the productive role, it's not more related to the current era we are in, because even now you find that there are some families that it's the lady who moves out to look for job, men are left in the house. It will depend with their decision, that's a family structure. So for productive role, though the community developers believe, the community members believe it's more of men, it should be balanced. So that's why we are doing the gender and development. So that when you go to the community and you are doing a community health talk, a community talk in general, please let them know productive work is for everyone. As long as you're capable and one can work any task outside their homes. It's not only left to men. So productive role, according to the community members, it's more to men. And we are saying it is particularly the paid work, meaning they're getting some income at the end of the day. It is market production activities undertaken by men and women, boys and girls in society. There is huge disparity on how men and women engage in these roles. So it is well manifested, in terms of career. Now, let me ask a question here in terms of career. From community setup, a reception or front office course, it's believed to be for who? Ojwang.
Men.
Reception stroke front office women. Why? Why have you all said women? Ojwang Amondi. Why have you said reception front office is for women? Why not men? Can someone give me a guess? Why do you think it's for men? I mean women, sorry. Front office, reception.
I said men.
Oh, you said men.
Yeah.
Who said
I
women?
said men. Ojwang said
Ojwang, please
women.
let me know the reason why you think it's women front office work, reception. Ojwang.
Yeah.
Yes. Why do you think we should give reception to receptionist reception of tasks to women? Okay. So who said men? Bernadette.
Me.
Reception front office men. Why?
Yeah. Because
Why?
you ask as a community setup.
Hmm.
So some communities,
Hmm.
as the way you've explained,
Hmm.
the second role.
Yeah.
Which is
Productive role.
Yes. It's supposed to go to the men and not the women, according to a community setup. The women should stay at home and take care of the kids.
Yeah, very good. Now, if we bring this to the current era, our generation, is this applicable to men or women?
Both.
Both.
Yes.
And if we go to a school and check the enrollment, maybe it's a college or a university, and we are having that class, do you think we'll have the same percentage in terms of men and women in that class who are doing reception course or front office?
No.
Who will be many?
The women.
The women. So people have that perception that reception it's more to women now in this era, but for those days it could be given to men because women are supposed to stay at home. So other careering, electrical engineering, Ojwang, engineering currently. Yes.
Mostly for women. No, men.
Mostly men, yeah. Waruga, you're trying to add something. Waruga, you can add. Ojwang has said men, electrical engineering, most of them in intake. Waruga, you are online now. Yes, Waruga, electrical engineering.
I think it's more dominated by men.
Why? People believe that ladies, we cannot connect the wires. That's just a stereotyping. Eh? You've seen people who are pilots and they're ladies. That's all. Currently, we have pilots who are women. So, meaning anyone can run any course. But people have that, the stereotyping we just mentioned, that this course belongs to men, this course belongs to women. So, with our current generation, productive role, then point number 2. Number 1 was reproductive. That was true. Productive role is controversial because at the current era we are in, this can go to any person. Anyone can enroll for any course. We've seen people who are doing hospitality, both men and women. We've seen people doing engineering. Some are even architectures, and they are women. Civil engineering, and they are women, So we've seen people doing nursing, both men and women. People say that nursing is more to ladies, and then the doctor is more of a man. That is stereotyping. So anyone can take a role in terms of productive role. So anyone can move outside and seek job and be employed. So we should not say that productive role is for the community, for the men, I mean. But now the community setup, they have that belief. So if you are discussing this question in an exam, you need to really argue on what is happening now, because that's why you are doing this unit, gender and development. So when you go to the community and you're talking to the community members, you encourage them about equality and tell them anyone can enroll for any course. So don't go then tell them wanawake mkae nyumbani, wanaume mwende kazini. No. If we have empowerment for all, the same way we need to have, job sectors for all people. So in terms of productive role, men and women should move outside and venture to all these tasks the same way. Then the last role, now that we had the triple role, the first one was reproductive, the other one was productive, and the last one is community management work. Let me check. Community management work or community management role. This again, it's believed to be more on men due to the patriarchal belief. People believe that society is dominated by men. They should be our leaders. They should be our everything. So because of that mentality of patriarchal society where women are discriminated, community management work or role, it's left to men. In terms of, you find that a community, a village has a chief who is a man, sub-chief is a man, elders are man, nyumba kumi leaders are all men. That tells you what? We are trying to say that the entire leadership belongs to men. You find that if it's a county structure, from the governor, the sub-county people, the deputy governor, the speakers, the MCAs, most of them are men. Now we are trying to say that every task, every role in the community will be managed by men. So for community management role, again, we need to encourage women, even them, to venture. I know you see now that currently women are venturing into politics because even them, they want seats. We have now the women representatives. We have governors who are women. We have deputy governors who are women. We have senators because we also need women to venture into this. So when it comes to managing the roles of the community, again, we need to welcome women. If it's all about the Nyumba Kumi initiatives, we should not only give the men to head everything. We need to have chiefs who are women, chiefs who are women, elders who are women, because even them, they make decisions. They make policies just as men are doing. So with gender and development, remember when you're arguing in any response of a question, remember we are doing it on terms of gender. Please don't concentrate on one side. Give it equality, because that's why you are doing gender and development, because you want to promote gender equity at all times. So for community management roles, the duties that a community leader is given, they should be given equally to both men and to both women. So if it's any role, if maybe it's an Rambe in a community, in a school, don't only welcome the MC to be the man, the chief guest to be the man. Anyone can be called in to be an MC, to be a chief guest. So please try to bring that element to the community members, that when it comes to community occasions, not only men who are given to be leaders, anyone can be called in to support or to participate in everything. So let there be equal participation for all in terms of community management role. Then let the roles be equal to every person. So let me check from the notes. So we are talking about this comprises of provision of items for collective consumption undertaken in the local community. Due to patriarchal and power asymmetries that tend to favor men, women lag behind in the participation in these roles. It is not rare to see a woman group, in brackets, a women-only group, being controlled by men who have stake in it. So you find that all the activities that I've just mentioned are given to men, but even women, we are not given chances in the community setup. So this one will really affect women empowerment, because women, if we are given empowerment, then we need to be given a chance to participate in that empowerment. So we need to make sure that both men and women can participate in community management roles. So that is it on topic 1. We have done definition of terms from gender to sex. I know Ojwang was away when we are giving the first definition. So I'll maybe mention that as I finish. Then we've discussed sensitivity, equality, equity, we've discussed awareness, we've discussed stereotyping, and then we've gone to the triple role concept. Remember, the triple role concept are 3. We have the reproductive role, that is more left to women, about the childbearing and taking care of the other family members, our household chores. Then we've talked about productive work, that it's believed to be more of now industrialization, people venturing into business and income generating activities. It is more believed to be for men, but due to empowerment, we are encouraging this even to go to women. Even women should venture into business and activities. And then for even career, it's on that point of productive role. Each career can be done by everyone. We cannot give it to this career belongs to men or this career belongs to women. Then the last role we've discussed is community management role or community management work, that every activity in the community should be one. We should not say that a chief should be a layman, a sub chief should be this. A chance where a woman is a chief, the man means there is quality there, because either the woman was more active. I can see I'm disconnected. Let me give it a back. Yeah, I'm back then. So sorry for that. It was again connectivity issues. So we're talking about those roles, the triple role concept. So for those who are left, we said the first two keywords is that sex is biologically constructed roles, but gender are socially constructed roles. For gender roles are flexible, they are changeable, but for sex roles are permanent, because it's the biological nature, biologically you cannot change. So that is more permanent, fixed, and non-changeable. But gender roles we can change. Maybe today the household chores were left for women. Maybe the next year they'll be for men. There's agreement on that. So meaning the gender roles they change, but the sex roles they do not change, because sex is more of biology, anatomy. So you remain the way you are. So you need to be very cautious when you're using the two terminologies. Sex is more biological, but gender is more social. The social roles that we are given as men, social roles that were given as women. So maybe to go back now to class, for anyone who has question on the introduction. Back to you now, please unmute. If you have any question, kindly ask on the first chapter, topic 1, I mean. Anyone who has a question, kindly you can ask. Sat will respond to it now. Any question? Are we all okay?
Yes.
Okay, so the next topic, you've already have the notes. I've sent the notes. The next topic is the history. Kindly take your time and go through the history. Please read through the history. Maybe I'll just come and listen to people present or talk to me about the history. And then from there, I'll proceed. If possible, I may teach topic even 3 the next class, because now the history, I'm leaving it for you guys to go through it through the entire week. So make sure at least you know the history, because the notes are already on the portal. Unless someone has a question, I'll be posting discussion questions on the platform. So please, you can interact and maybe discuss in your own free times. Make sure at least you're conversant with the notes, please. Don't close the books after the class is over. If you are free in the afternoon, please go through peruse, so that you may know what you didn't understand. If you have any question, you can ask them immediately when you begin the next class or next week on Monday. So unless someone has a question, I'm grateful for the class, regardless of the challenges with connectivity, but finally we are good to go. So I'm grateful for the patience that you had to wait for the issues to be settled, and finally they are okay. So finally the class was good. I appreciate your participation. Encourage other members to join. Please, if you have a WhatsApp group, tell the others we've already kicked off. Now I'm moving to the other topic, the next class. So please let them know to join, so that we move very fast. So please, the next class, avail yourselves. I believe we will not have these challenges again of the connectivity, so that we move very fast. So my sincere apologies in terms of that. And I'm very grateful for the participation that you've had. So please go through the history as early as now, so that next week I just proceed to the other subtopic, unless someone has a question. So if there isn't any question, have a good day. We meet next week on Tuesday, God willing. Though we have a social policy class with you, Bernadette. This is the same group.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
it's okay. It's okay. So for social policy, we have tomorrow at 2. It's okay. So we'll meet tomorrow. Those who have social policy, those who do not have. For gender class, we'll stop there and then proceed next week on Tuesday, God willing. So asanteni sana, unless there's any question. So I'm waiting for any question, maybe any attention. Okay, so if there isn't, have a good day.